Welcome back to Hot Pursuit, and if my voice sounds any different or if I forget things that happened last time, that's because I'm actually recording this second half of the mission quite a while after the first bit. Because, well, if I sound different at all here, it's because at the time that I recorded the first half of this mission, I was suffering from very, very bad hay fever. And yeah, my throat was pretty much just horribly wrecked at the time, and I basically just couldn't continue. I basically just stopped at that point because I really couldn't even continue speaking. Never accept a family errand to go through your grandma's house when you have a massive dust allergy. That pretty much put me out of action for an entire week. So, if you're wondering why there haven't been any updates for a while, that's why. Yeah. But anyway, back to this mission, which again, I'd consider more of a puzzle than an actual mission. We're finally breaking through this pipe and heading forward into enemy territory. Now, you might be asking, why didn't I destroy that laser with grit? Well, Kanbei's artillery is going to take that one, and which leaves Grit's time to advance. So, rockets go up. And just some random infantry for my technique rating, even though I really doubt my technique rating needs any help, considering, well, I'm not really losing very much, at least on Grit side. Again, remember that only one commander actually counts for your power and technique scores, and that is the one who fires the shot that destroys the last cannon. So I'm having Grit do this now. Again, I didn't actually know about this at the time, so it was sheer coincidence that I actually did that, but again, I'm going to have Grit handle the power and technique scores because I am going to have him finish the mission objective. As for Jess, she's going to go here and provide some extra support, more like units to get hit in the place of Grit, because she's a little more expendable, considering that she doesn't have to worry about the technique score. And that stupid battleship is still pounding my infantry, but I don't really care. More rockets, and eventually I'll probably have to start making medium tanks with both her and Kanbei, because I'm going to need things to distract attention away from my rockets. And again, it's not just the cannon that I need to distract. You'll see what I'm talking about later. More rockets there. At least that's a clump of 2 rockets. That's probably worth quite a lot, although there is a bigger clump up there that I have a feeling might be in danger. Basically, if you know what's coming, clumping your units together, especially if they're all very expensive, is really, really, really not a good idea. Okay, that's gone. I kind of had to take that thing out, because otherwise a whole lot of Grit's units would have been lasered, so don't want that to happen. Now, the medium tanks and rockets up there can get to you. Again, on the other side, provided that you don't destroy that laser, the units on the left-hand side behind the left laser won't actually come for you because the laser is blocking them. And in all honesty, you really don't need to destroy that laser, because if you've got people like Grit, you actually won't be... Oh, damn it, all of Grit's units got hit. That was not good. But basically, if you have Grit with his increased range, you really don't have to actually take any more steps further into laser range in order to actually get to grips with the enemy cannons, really. And that was stupid. I put myself in rocket range there, which is not good. Only 2 stars off of that, off Doom. Unfortunately, he is most likely going to get it very soon, because he's starting to move his medium tanks up there. I need to take those out, otherwise my artillery is in for some serious massacring. Because, yeah, Sturm's medium tanks are most likely so powerful they can one-shot Grit's artillery. Yeah, Sturm with that 20% offense boost on everything and defense boost is pretty ridiculous. Now, I was clumping my infantry together there in hope that maybe what's going to inevitably happen soon will happen to them. Sorry if I'm keeping so secretive about this, but I really don't feel like talking about what's about to happen. Oh, so painful. But you'll see, basically. I damaged one of Sturm's medium tanks. That can't end well, can it? Let's see. He's still got 2 stars left, but Yeah, now I'm gonna have to start damaging a few things here. Eventually, I'm gonna have to start going for the power score, but most likely my strategy for that is gonna be I'm gonna get Grit Super, which I'm really not even close to, considering I haven't had him attack much. Get Grit Super, and once he's got the Super, I'll then just hammer the units behind the pipe without actually destroying the pipe. Don't do that, otherwise you'll have a bunch of things right on you. Oh boy, okay, now if I hit that second medium tank, which I'm probably going to have to, and I really don't need to hit those missiles because I'm not going to bring any air units up here. If I hit that second medium tank, which I'm going to, I have a feeling he's going to get his super. Yep, if you thought that Sturm was bad before, with permanent terrain tactics and... permanent terrain tactics, 20% offense and defense on everything, you ain't seen nothing yet. His super makes him even worse. And since he's actually got his super right now, I can probably feel free to actually damage a few units here. Maybe weaken the cannons so that I can take them all out in the space of like one turn later on. That'd be quite good. Your other commanders can take out the first two cannons, but again, remember that you got to plan out who takes out the last one in advance, because they are the one whose power and technique scores count. Now, yeah, what I'm going to do here is weaken a lot of these units so that I can take out a whole bunch of them in the space of one turn for the power score. Again, though, I want to weaken the cannons. Grit's artillery, even his artillery two-shot the cannons and can get within range of them, so... Grit, again, a very, very good character to use for this mission. Grit's actually quite good for a lot of missions in the campaign mode. He's actually quite good in general. Even in War Room, Grit's pretty powerful. And yes, one cannon down. Now, that's going to take some of the pressure off of the units there. Unfortunately, literally everything I have, except for that 1 HP artillery, is still in cannon range. So that was kind of pointless. But, oh well. Yeah, and, I don't know why I'm doing that. I think I'm just trying to... yeah, save stuff, because chances are if I make something expensive, it might get hit. Oh yes, I'm clumping units here because I am so desperately hoping that the thing that that shall not be named that is coming does something there. Also, let's put I'm going to put a useless rocket unit down there. The reason being that that'll add extra value to the total funds worth of units in that big clump. Basically, you want to clump together some units so that the total funds of that big clump of units is quite high, but that they're not completely vital to your strategy. And you want to make sure the units that are vital to your strategy spread out. That is imperative. Spread them out. In fact, we might want to add another rocket to that pile there, because, just to give some more funds worth of stuff there, and draw the superpowers' attention away from the units that we actually need. Now that sub is going to die in a few moments anyway, but I may as well, should I hit it just for the extra power meter? I mean, it's going to sink on its own anyway, but, yeah. Again, you want to try and bunch up a bunch of expensive units that aren't vital to your plan. Now, usually I would recommend using medium tanks for this. Get everyone else who isn't Grit to make medium tanks and have them, you know, well, just act as the bait. And I finally have that base there, which is pretty good. Because hopefully he takes the bait. Hopefully. Now, the other reason I'm using Kanbei for this mission is because, yeah, him having expensive units is quite good for decoy duty, which is going to be very, very helpful here. Now, if I move this medium tank up, that's going to really add a lot of funds to a certain clump of units. Actually, might want to keep that 1 HP medium tank alive, just so I can take it out for the power score later on. Move that up. Again, yeah, this mission is, I keep saying this, but there's no better way to sum this up. It's more of a puzzle than an actual battle. I could make a lander there just to act as more decoys, but... anyway, I've already got my decoy plan going. I'm going to save funds for everyone else, because chances are, if we make something expensive, it's going to immediately get hit by, well, yeah. Okay, here it comes. Get ready to hear the sound of death. Damn it, rockets got hit there. laser, and here it comes, the sound of your death. Yep, that line may sound like it's coming from generic villain Mad Libs. Believe me, this guy is no joke. Here it comes, meteor strike, and it hit the place I didn't want to hit. Damn it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sturm's superpower, Meteor Strike. It drops a freaking meteor on the battlefield, doing 8 damage to everything caught in the blast. But that's not all. Also, all of his units get additional firepower and defense bonuses. I believe they're all up to now 50% offense and defense. Yeah! So not only does it do ridiculous amounts of damage to you, it also pumps up his stats insanely. To the point where, yeah, normally, a matchup like that would have ended in disaster. That cruiser would have probably died and I wouldn't have taken any damage. Here, nope. Yep, Sturm's super is pure, unadulterated evil. And now that he's actually used it, I can talk a little bit about how to lure it. Sturm's superpower operates exactly like a cannon. Yeah, you'll notice here that his firepower is even more insane than before. It operates a bit like a cannon. Basically, it targets the most expensive cluster of units on the map. There, it was a cluster of a couple of rockets and a couple of artillery, which was really what I did not want. Yep, I didn't want that. I wanted it to go for that big cluster of infantry, but it didn't take the bait. Now, learn from my mistake here. No, I've now also learned from my mistake. This is stupid. I should have left this thing alive and used it for the power score later, but oh well. But anyway, learn from my mistakes. What you want to do here is have a bunch of medium tanks. These things aren't really going to be full health grit rockets, and they only do 28%. Yep, that is the ridiculousness of Sturm's super. Yeah! Pure evil. Anyway, take that out, now we only have to worry about one cannon damaging us. Now all that's left is to really worry about the power score. That's pretty much all there is. And Sturm's super. So again, luring Sturm's super. Now, you might want to actually get practiced at doing it in this mission, because in the next mission, oh boy, there is no way in hell you are S-ranking or even finishing the next mission decently well if you don't know how to lure Meteor Strike. It's pretty much an essential skill you have to learn, which is part of the reason why I actually think they even gave you this mission to begin with. You need to learn how to lure this power. Basically, yeah, you want a cluster of expensive units that are not vital to your plan. Basically, yep. The right way is, if you've got a whole bunch of units all the way back at your base that aren't really doing anything, yeah, it'll hit them and that's all well and good. You got, like, let's say, one bomber that you desperately need to get through the enemy lines. If Sturm uses super and hits that bomber, you're basically screwed. Yep, if you don't know how to lure Meteor Strike properly, sometimes it can hit a unit that's so vital to your plans, you may as well restart right there. That's crippling. Anything hit by this is pretty much, barring a ridiculous amount of joining or enormous amounts of funds spent on repairs, anything hit by Meteor Strike is, to all intents and purposes, dead. It's practically useless unless you can join a ridiculous number of them, or again, spend an enormous amount of money on repairs. Which, yeah, as you can tell, is probably very, very, very annoying. And again, in some cases, it can hit something so vital that you may as well restart the whole mission. Now, you'll know what I mean once I start talking about the next mission, the final one, because that's where you can get some points where, well, basically, all I'll say is the final mission requires you to get certain things, slip a certain type of unit through enemy lines. If it gets hit by Meteor Strike, you're pretty much screwed and have to restart. That's basically all there is to it. So, you need to know how to lure this. So yeah, now it's also probably a good idea not to build anything too expensive on the turn you know he's going to use Meteor Strike. Because there's always that possibility that, well, the Meteor is going to hit you, and you'll have to waste an enormous amount of money on repairs. This goes doubly true if you've got a large amount of bases that are all near each other, because they're all going to get hit at once. Yeah. Now, light cannons, I'm not entirely sure if Sturm's Meteor Strike prioritizes Kanbei's units or not, because they're a little more expensive than normal. Speaking of expensive, I can make a bomber. Wow, I'm going to go ahead and do that, actually, because that could prove an excellent lure for meteors. Normally, it's the bombers you don't want to get hit by meteors, but in this case, it's the exact opposite. Now, yeah, again, luring the meteors is completely vital. You need to know how to do that. I cannot stress this enough. And oh boy, Sturm's units are still in that massive defense state. Anyway, but at this point, we're pretty much only worrying about the power score. The good news is that once Sturm has used his super, he won't be gaining any more until it wears off, which means you can safely pound on all of his units as much as you want. So, take advantage of that, because very soon it will be back into horrible, horrible pain threshold. Okay, so Sturm has lost 2 units so far. 2. Yeah. I am gonna need to go for that power score soon. Yes, thank you. That is what you want. You want those cannons to be hitting your medium tanks. Although, in the best case scenario, you want a second medium tank ready to join, because now that that one's only on 5 HP, it's going to be less of a target for the cannons. Those weird, silly subs are just going on. Yeah, they're kind of weird. They're not really going to be useful unless you start making naval units, but like, again, like, in some runs of this mission, I've actually put grid on the side and used battleships, but, in this one, I just found it better to have in the center. It's really a matter of choice, but I've said before that you can also sort of use Drake for this, if you want, on one of the sides. Make sure you put him on the left side, the one that actually starts with a port, because otherwise, yeah. Now, you might notice that there's a side that starts with an airport. See, I could win this mission right now, but I would most likely get a terrible power ranking, so these next few turns are all about the power score. Now, yeah, you might notice the right side starts with an airport, so you might be thinking, oh, hey, I could put Eagle on there. Wow, he's already got 2 stars. That's bad. Well, Eagle is not so useful in this mission because, again, this mission is very, very, very indirect oriented, and you really don't want to be using direct units in this too much because, well, yeah. Because, yeah, direct units will only be able to damage these enemies if you destroy the pipe, and if you destroy the pipe, they'll all come rushing straight for you. Something kind of interesting that I only just realized is the rockets and the missiles up there. See, right on the right-hand side of that intact cannon, the 3 HP rocket and the missiles above it. Those things can't move at all. They're completely boxed in by the cannon on one side and the pipe on the other, so they're actually just stuck there. But considering that they're indirect units and thus move or fire, but not both, that doesn't really cause that much problem for them. Damage that. Again, yes, and Grit now is his super, which is very, very, very good. In fact, I might even be winning this next turn. More joining, that's always useful. Send this one up. Next turn, what I might be doing is using Grit Super and going ahead and destroying as many things as possible for that power score, and then finally taking out that last cannon. So, I'm pretty much almost done here. This mission is not hard at all. In fact, if you're not going for rankings, it's in fact pathetically easy. You just need to smash those cannons. I could have done it now if I wanted to. The power score is mainly the only area that's slightly tricky, and really all that is just weaken a bunch of units and then take them out immediately. Take them out all in one turn, and then destroy the final cannon. Preferably with something like Grit Superpower, that's always very useful. And again, indirect fire. This mission is very, very much an indirect one. So, yeah, you want indirects. Lots and lots of indirects, which is why I was using this team. Grit, Jess, and Kanbei, because all of them combined have probably the best indirects you could hope for. So, Can't hit that with my bomber, annoyingly, but I could try and go for that battleship if I want to give Sturm an enormous boost to his power meter. Kanbei really hasn't really been doing much. Again, he's mostly just been medium tank lure. That's basically it. But don't worry, Kanbei will get a... Actually, it's kind of funny because I don't want to spoil it, but Kanbei has a bit of a job to play in the next mission too, and it's actually, funnily enough, also luring. But hey, at least his extra firepower helps. He's the only person who actually gets any semblance of extra firepower against Sturm because his 30% offense cancels out the 20% defense and provides an extra 10%. So that's all well and good, but sending you up there. And I think next turn I will probably have to end this, so at least hopefully, or this goes on for another 2 turns, I'm not entirely sure, but again, this mission is a lot easier. In hard campaign, this mission is actually somewhat of a challenge. I forget exactly what, I just remember that, oh damn it, I got medium tank got lasered, that's not good. But anyway, I just remember that somehow in hard campaign, this mission was actually legitimately tough. I think it's something to do with him actually having units that can attack you and not just blocked by a pipe, but yeah, in normal mode, this mission is pretty easy. But yeah, enjoy the breather, because it is the last one you will ever be getting. The next mission, the final mission. Well, the less said about that, the better. Let me just say, now that, well, we're already coming to a close with this one, I guess I'll share some thoughts. The next mission is the last one. The final mission. When I was a kid and I first played this game, I was stuck on that mission for months. And I'm not going to interrupt the superpower here. Don't want to interrupt the empowering music with doom and gloom, but anyway, I was stuck on the final mission as a kid for months, and I'm not exaggerating, literally months. It took me months, almost half a year, to actually even finish that, let alone getting an S rank. This time, well, after completing this mission, I would have had pretty much a good enough overall performance in the whole campaign to get an overall S rank by the end for the entire campaign. Unfortunately for me, I decided when I started this that I'd be S ranking every mission. So guess what? I had to S rank the final mission. Yep. And let me tell you, it took a very long time. This mission here, this one right here, I recorded this at the same time I recorded all the others several years ago, like maybe 3 years ago. This was recorded a while ago. The final mission, my actual run of that will be showing up next time in this very playthrough. I recorded that. Okay, I've destroyed 2, I need more. I didn't record that until literally a few weeks ago. Yeah, I didn't finish that until now. In my my initial run of this that I was doing before, this could actually kill him if I get lucky. Yes, it did. Perfect. Yes, in the run that I was recording, I actually did not finish the final mission with an S rank yet. I needed to do this. I mean, I'm not so much. Whatever. I needed to finish it now, so that it still took me months. The final mission, yeah, has been my nemesis for a very long time. Now, I do want to leave one artillery unit, or at least one unit, to deal the final blow to the cannon, because if I don't do that, then, well, that's kind of pointless. And if I don't do that, I'm going to get meteored. So, let me do myself a favor and finish this off before the meteor hits. Now it's reminding me of Days of Ruin. Yeah. Very interesting that you got the meteor strike power in this game. And then, okay, so 7, and he's lost 2 before, so I have destroyed 5. That's probably enough. I have a feeling that that's enough. I think it is. 5 is probably good enough. Unless I could deal enough damage with this thing to... oh, that's 6 HP unit is... Oh, and there is that 1 HP thing, and please tell me that's in range of my regular artillery. Please tell me it is. Or I could just end this now. I probably could have taken out that 1 HP thing. But it looks like, yeah, there was a little more going on here than it seems. Yep, Sturm is pretty smart. The platform, that sounds suspicious. And he's not kidding, believe me. Well, that doesn't sound good. And yeah, dramatic irony, we know that they wanted to leak that intel to us. But yeah, it looks like they're already being a bit suspicious. Yes, it's very obvious that it's a trap. Yeah, exactly. Grid's always the voice of reason here. Yeah, they're already suspicious. So, yeah, they don't even waste time. They've all gotten a lot smarter since the first game, believe me, when almost everyone who wasn't named Grid or Sonya was a moron. Of course, Andy's still gonna go Leroy Jenkins. But, huh? Sensei is agreeing with Andy? I mean, I can understand Eagle because, that's kind of cool. Random grit metaphors. And Kanbei thinks he's in an Ace Attorney game. Wow, you're uncharacteristically happy. And anyway, there we go, perfect score. So 5 kills was enough for the perfect power score. And yeah, this mission gets a unique artwork. But yeah, whoever appears on this results screen is the one whose power and technique scores counted. So remember that. So, this mission is done. Next time, the end. And believe me, this is going to be epic and brutally hard. I hope you're all looking forward to this, because I sure was not looking forward to it when I was playing. See you then, for pain.